Hi, I'm Carla Balo from the Center for Automotive Research, and I'd like to welcome you to this webinar today on one of the highlights of MBS, our management briefing seminars, which is the Altair Enlighten Award. We partnered with Altair for several years to be able to give this award and highlight it during MBS in August. This year, MBS is August 4th and 5th, and this particular event highlighting the awards themselves will be on Wednesday, August 4th. Today, we're going to be talking to some winners of previous years and some of their ideas and, their reasons for participating, their reasons for competing, and some of the things that they may have learned throughout the process. So with that in mind, I'm going to hand the next few moments over to Richard Yen, who's going to moderate today's panel. He's the Senior Vice President of Global Automotive and Industry Verticals at Altair. Richard, to you.
Thank you, Carla. Let me show my screen here. Can you see my screen okay?
Not yet, Richard.
Okay, let me share my screen again. Now it looks good?
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Carla. I think I want to express the Altair's gratitude to work with Carla for the past years. And we deliver the award successfully. In fact, this year is 9th year, believe it or not. It's been 9th year for Altair Enlighten Award. Before I start, I would like to quickly show a video that we captured the excitement from the past winners.
Like the title Enlighten, because it enlightens us on new technologies.
They're like a peer to me and to my engineering colleagues. So it's even more of an honor to have a group and a company that's made up of engineers give us an honor like this.
It's important for automotive companies to reduce vehicle weight because not only do we want to give customers the cars that they want from a ride and handling point of view and an enjoyment point of view, we also want to give customers cars that meet the sustainability challenge and get better gas mileage and better CO2 reduction.
We consider the Enlighten Award as the Oscar of lightweighting. So for us, we've been following that for years.
We are going to brag about this to all our customers. We're putting it on our website. We're very proud of this. We have the CEO here today. So we're going to really brag about winning this award.
Thank you. So quickly just run through today's agenda. I would quickly use very little time to introduce Altair. Then I will pass on for this panelists to talk about their stories. And today's topics, we focus on the future of lightweighting and enabling technologies. And everybody understand in order for the car makers or OEMs to build a beautiful products and really focus on the lightweighting, we do need to have people have a vision, and we do need the technologies to enable the OEMs or suppliers to do the lightweighting design. And then with this in mind, the goal for this meeting is to run through the roundtable discussions and allow the participants or audience to ask questions. So we have all the panelists here that we can answer your questions. Just quickly to go through who is Altair and why we are doing the Altair Enlighten Award. Altair is a global technology company, and we really help the customer to make design decisions by leveraging the convergence of the simulation, high performance cloud computing, and artificial intelligence. So there are 6 pillars that really support the Altair's growth, and AI is one of them. And we use data analytics to build a machine learning model or AI models to help the design. Simulation, using the multi-physics simulations to drive the design and allow the people to view and make the models for the visualization as well. We certainly, with those activities, high performance cloud computing is very important key elements here. And then we also get into the Internet of Things, that we understand how the things get connected, how the data got transmitted through the network. And more importantly is that we have a partner alliance programs. We are building our alliance to work together to provide better solutions for the customers. So for Altair Enlighten Award, like I have stated previously, this is the 9th year of the Altair Enlighten. We are happy with this and working with Carl. And please to visit our website, the Altair/Enlighten Award web pages to look at more information. And by doing so, I think I would like to point out is that the entries closed by end of May 31st. And then we have a judging in June 22, and then we deliver the award on August 4th. For this year, I think we try to support the government's green policies, and we believe, the environment actually is more important than the lightweighting, and lightweighting is one of the important elements to support the sustainability. So we added 2 new categories here. One is the sustainability products, which is that allow the OEMs or suppliers to really focus on where do they see the energy efficiency, gas emissions can be saved, can be reduced, and where's the lightweighting can apply and increase the safety and the performance, etc. There's another new category is sustainable process that will allow the material, the companies who has the manufacturing process to really focus on the resources management and water conservation and reduce the waste. So I do believe this 2 sustainability category is going to bring more entries into the competition, and we are going to see a higher level of the consideration from the suppliers and OEMs. The remaining 3, like a module lightweighting enabling technologies, and future of the lightweighting is going to stay the same. So module lightweighting, we understand is the assembly, subsystems that reduce the weight. And in order to do so, we certainly require the suppliers to support the enabling technologies to do so, and the people who has a vision to get into a future of the lightweighting. So with those 5 categories here, I think today, most importantly, is to have a past winners to talk about their stories and to talk about how do they provide these lightweight products and how they are going to save the weight and how they are looking into the futures. So the first one I would like to introduce is Marco. And Marco is the director of the product development from the Morale Right Dynamics. And he's going to talk about his winning product. Marco, could you please take away, please?
Yeah, sure. So let me quickly share some few slides that will help us discussing. Can you see my desktop? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. So as we said, Ride Dynamics, very briefly, Ride Dynamics is one of the independent company belonging to Marelli Holding. Is the aggregate between the former business line called suspension systems and shock absorbers. So we develop, manufacture, and distribute for high volumes, but for any kind of automotive car makers, both shock absorbers and suspension components and suspension systems, suspension modules. In brief, our global turnover is around 900 million euros, distributed 2/3 on suspension, 1/3 from shock absorbers operations. We have a very strong position especially in Brazil for shock absorbers, while in general our revenues comes by 65% from a European operation, and our main customers are Stellantis, BMW, Daimler, and VW groups. Stellantis both by the former FCA groups and by PSA, because we are historical suppliers for both the two sides of the new created Stellantis. Okay. So quickly, which was our participation of last year's Altair Awards where we won in the future of lightweighting categories. We try to challenge ourselves this time from probably the most complicated components of the suspension systems. So the steering knuckles. The steering knuckles is where all the loads comes from. So the transmission of the loads from the wheel to the body pass totally from the steering knuckles. So concentrations of loads, very critical design space, and so the critical side of weight reduction is totally concentrated in these components. We ran through a deep topological optimization, material selections, and before and besides these jobs, there is a deep study, understanding of the materials, also through together with our partners of pre-preg materials, and by adopting the vinyl ester and the carbon fibers high percentage SMC process, we defined a prototypes, and we completed the prototypes where we were able to reduce in between 25 to 30% of the weight with respect to an aluminum knuckles. And so this led to this interesting, very much interesting, and we are very proud of that award in the future of lightweight categories. But we never stops, and as I said, we are not concentrating only on the steering knuckles and only on one solutions, because we believe as a suspension systems manufacturer that the mix of different solutions is the winning strategy for the future. So we can reduce the weight of our suspension by adopting, for example, starting from the hot forming steel plus Tailor and blank steel, just to have the thickness where exactly it is needed. Then we have solutions where we cut the weight by means of aluminum variable thickness sheet metal structures welded together. And when we want to propose to the car makers the ultimate, so the maximum weight reductions, we need to adopt the carbon fiber reinforced plastics. So, for example, for these structures, we have developed and defined in the past years a front cross members that has been actually tested even on a car by ourselves and totally validated on the bench test with very good results. Finally, we achieve a 60% of weight reduction with respect to the steel versions and 35% with respect to aluminum versions. So this is what can be done by a complete redesign of the parts. But which are the next steps? Because we said future of lightweighting, but future sooner or later will come. So when the future comes, you have to be prepared for the next futures. So for the even next future. And so now we are studying local reinforcement by applying local patches of carbon composite materials onto existing structures like an aluminum knuckles, or in some cases onto our structures developed in SMC, so to increase locally certain specific performance, like for example on the knuckles the static stiffness and longitudinal collapse load on these cross members. So this was just to give you a very quick idea of our participation. I want to remember that last year was not the first time we participate in these Altair Awards. Last year we won. Previous year we were just participating, but it's very much important to start this path also for my people in R&D. Okay.
Thank you, Marco. Really exciting to see this. But you know, I'm seeing you are applying more and more application, you know, in the chassis in the very low critical components, and how do you convince the OEMs to really follow this path?
Well, it's the tough side of our job, even more difficult than making the research itself. Now, in our domain, so in the safety-related component domains, the deep knowledge of the materials, it's the key drivers. And so having an internal material laboratory, it's important for ourselves to have the material card precise as what we want, as what we need from a CE perspective, but also for testing perspective. So, for example, a deep fatigue and campaign of to have the fatigue curves, fatigue characteristics of our materials, even in the different temperatures, is something that we show to our customers to convince them in introducing composite materials in chassis domains. And also, as I said before, to convince customers, a key factor is also to propose them not just one solution, but several solutions depending on the key drivers of the platform, of each platform.
Thank you very much. Later on, we will have the open question from our audience. Certainly, I think people will ask more. So
Okay.
next, let's move to the CSI group, and we have Dr. Stefan Herman join us. So he's going to present his slides here. Stefan, yep, thank you very much. Get your slides here.
Shared. So, okay, so welcome to all the guys around the world. So my name is Stefan. I'm from CSE. So usually you hear it from my accent. I'm a German speaking colleague. And so let me give you a warm welcome over here. So what does CSE actually do? Because we are a quite small company, roughly like 550 employees. We work usually in the engineering and consulting domain together with OEMs. We work for different tier 1 suppliers, roughly like 150, in some with design agencies, different startups. And they usually get to us when they need engineering and consulting services for complete mobility systems. So all of the vehicles that you find on the right side of the screen are, let's say, vehicles that we participated in some way. We cannot talk about the details too much, but Porsche and Audi, BMW and also Daimler are surely part of our main customers. So we work a lot in classic and new drives. Traditionally, right now, the most stuff that we do is in electric vehicles, and we do that from the concept phase up to series production. So what is our value add typically at the moment? So we have a lot of expertise in the automotive body domain, where we work from concept to series. Specific know-how in platform design and high voltage battery systems. So this could be mentionable over here. And also we have a lot of activities in the new mobility domain, for example, like electric cargos and everything, let's say between 2 and 4 wheels. And another business unit that we have is Foxbyte. They mostly deal with augmented reality and virtual reality solutions. So let's call it extended reality. So let's talk about the lightweight. We were presenting the Ultraleichtbausitz. It's a German word, which basically translates to ultra lightweight seat. It was a partner project with different manufacturing companies like Alba Tooling, Automotive Management Consulting, and CSE in that case was in the lead. And also different companies like 3D Core suppliers, Covestro that you might know, Hofmann, and also the Lightweight Technologies Forum, for example. So let's talk about the facts about the Ultraleichtbausitz that we did. So the weight of that seating concept was roughly a little bit over 10 kilograms. And we completely rethought the way such a seat could be designed in a completely digital process chain, majorly CAE driven in the static and dynamic domain. There is, it was constructed in one construction stage, and basically the new technologies that we featured were carbon fiber filament winding. So the whole seating frame has been designed from carbon fiber filament wounded products. We had a lot of additive manufacturing in polymer and also metal in the different hinges, in the winding bushings, which was basically printed from steel and also from aluminum. The whole seat backrest cushions, they have been a little bit more popularized in the meantime. So you find that in different applications now. These have been made by 3D printed thermoplastic polyurethane. And of course, the outer bezels was sort of like, let's call it standard 3D printing. The red colored back panel that you see is made by a foam core sandwich material, which is called 3D core, also quite interesting and very, very lightweight material. And as the trim fabric, we were using a sustainable trim material that was called Climatex, which has some very interesting features regarding thermal conductivity. Okay, so I think that is more or less enough to that from the detail side. So what is going to be next? The next step is going to be the sustainability. So we are going to apply these technologies also in the domain of a center console, where we have a cooperation with an OEM right now, using cellulose fibers, bio-based resins, and this is going to be robot wound. And it's also going to be purely designed with the CAE-driven process chain. It will also feature some smart textiles with different vital signs sensors and heating functions. And if you have any questions to that, let us just get in touch. So feel free to ask the questions. Thank you very much.
Hey, Stefan, very exciting to see these exciting technologies. You know, just so curious, you integrate so many different technologies, and where do you see, you know, those integration of the technology can apply to the next directions or next application? And what is in your mind?
Yeah, it differs. When we look at the 3D printing applications, of course, it's going to be small series applications where we also look into the domain of hypercars, and also we have some interesting projects going on in the direction of interiors of air taxis. So that was also one of our aims, some interesting stuff going on there. And so I cannot talk too much about it, but in the interior of cars, in the area of the dashboard, there's going to be some, let's say, bonded fibers, and let's say the polyurethane seating foams. There is a lot going on in the market right now for all kind of premium and luxury cars that actually, where you can order it already.
Thank you very much. I think this is exciting. So the next, I would like to get into enabling technologies. And the first one, I would like to welcome Frank from DuPont. And Frank is the marketing director for Americas. So let's have Frank to present the slides.
Yes,
Frank,
sure.
could you show your screen, please?
Sure, Richard. Yes, thank you. Thank you very much. It's hopefully you can see these slides coming through.
Yes. Yep.
Yes, fair. Yes, thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here today and participating on this panel. We're very excited to have our technology recognized as enabling technology by Altair. It's quite a accomplishment, and we feel to have this level of recognition in the industry. Let me move ahead. So I'd like to just talk a little bit about our business, our new business within DuPont. We call Mobility and Materials, M&M. Here we can have a look at this business unit within DuPont, which I'm a part of course, and the technology we'll talk about today. It resides in our automotive segment, of course, and but you can see here that we are focused on some other market segments as well, where we focus as an overall business, and you'll see a little bit more of that in the next slide. Here is this look at our mobility and materials business unit within DuPont. Here you can see a little bit more in-depth profile of our business unit and the performance centers shown in the upper right that make up the business. We're obviously a $4 billion business as of last year, and you can see how that's kind of segmented across the globe. And in the lower right is the other view of the market segments that we're focused in, and you can see how the split amongst those segments is split out in terms of our sales, with automotive being the largest portion. We have 5,600 colleagues in this business alone within DuPont, and 38 manufacturing sites. Just touch a little bit on our overall portfolio for the transportation industry. We offer a diverse range of bonding solutions. Here you can see our full portfolio here. So if we look from left to right, you can see kind of our technology progression in single component and two component adhesives in the industry. Some of you may know that many years ago, we transformed the industry with our glass bonding technologies for all fixed glass bonding in the industry, with a full portfolio of primers and activators to enable bonding to a variety of substrates. And these technologies have since found their way into many, many more applications, like we'll talk about today for the lightweight modular assembly. A thermoplastic liftgate is an example. Under the body heading is we were first to market 20 years ago with beta-made epoxy adhesive technology. These are body shop applied, heat cured, and room temperature curable metal bonding solutions for body structural reinforcement and for collision repair in the aftermarket. And it also includes crash toughened or fracture toughened systems that reinforce and enable the vehicle metal structure to do more work in a dynamic impact event and contribute to the overall energy management and safety, crash safety of the vehicle. Our BetaForce systems here are rapid room temperature curing and highly cross-linked structural polyurethane adhesives. So these are very much structural adhesives, giving bond strengths of greater than 1,000 PSI in lap shear testing. And these really offer innovative solutions for joining dissimilar material combinations in general assembly. And they feature really a unique combination of material properties like optimized flexibility and bond strength, makes them really ideal for joining mixed materials for lightweighting. And now finally, we've extended these technologies further under the battery heading here with our initiatives in e-mobility. We can add another chapter of the innovation history here to help speed the transition to EVs by extending our technologies to include materials that can be applied at the module and pack level and provide reliable environmental sealing, structural bonding, and thermal management. And then getting to our enabling technology that we work together, and we were recognized last year with Altair. We were very excited to have this technology recognized, as I said, at this level in the industry. So this is a look at that product, and our innovation here is essentially a fast room temperature curing structural adhesive. That's the primary joining means for the inner and outer panels of the thermoplastic liftgate. It's also custom formulated for compatibility with external heating methods that can be used to accelerate the cure in select areas around the perimeter of the assembly. So the part can be quickly moved downstream to other manufacturing operations or shipped out to the final OEM for assembly. Some lightweight materials can significantly reduce the overall stiffness of structures, but the adhesive in this case and the continuous bond line of the structural adhesive and the complete joining over the complex surfaces and tight radii that we can experience imparts really enough torsional stiffness to the thermoplastic structures that may not be achievable by some other methods like plastic welding or other joining methods. So the BETASEALT structural adhesive here really provides a means of joining shaped thermoplastic inner and outer panels and enabling the modular lightweight liftgate assembly with the highest bond strength and optimal modulus. Now this enables new lightweight thermoplastic liftgates to achieve really the critical design requirements such as stiffness and fatigue strength durability required for the final product performance. And just to give everyone here a look at the future outlook for modular assembly and vehicle structures, For plastic and mixed material bonding, we're really focused on looking forward on process simplification through direct adhesion to materials and the highest cured properties like bond strength and the adhesive modulus. And then also the rapid cure capability for practical and high throughput manufacturing. Under the structural applications of load carrying components, the key developments for our single component next generation body structural adhesives have been focused on improving the critical performance attributes such as adhesion characteristics for lightweight materials and mixed material scenarios, improve fatigue performance as you can see demonstrated here in the lower right on the fatigue curve, and also superior corrosion resistance. These improvements will be important going forward with the shift to electric and autonomous vehicles, where there may be significantly higher use cycles experienced in those vehicles, and where enhanced bond durability can contribute to the overall vehicle longevity. And that's what I had there to share, Richard.
Thank you very much, Frank. I think you already stated what is the strength for the material. I just want to quickly ask you the question is that, can you highlight, a couple of factors that you are really uniquely differentiate your material?
Sure. There are products on the market that can bond these types of, in the case we saw here, we saw some low energy surface materials, glass-filled polypropylene and TPO, which can be very difficult to bond since they have very little surface functionality, and some steps need to be taken to enable that. But what's unique here in this material is that it has very high cured material properties. So there are customer composite bonding specs or lightweight material specs that are out there that have very high bar for the bond strength performance. And this adhesive can bond these lightweight materials and achieve those higher bond strength performance requirements. So it can meet all the OEM specifications that are out there today for composite bonding. And that's really something that differentiates it from some of the competitives that are out there in similar applications. And then again, I would highlight again here, that it's specifically formulated to work with accelerated heating processes like IR, where IR is applied around select locations, and that obviously accelerates the cure. But you want to make sure that it's not too quickly, or that the adhesive doesn't covalently bond to the substrate while the polymer is forming and cross-linking. So it's a balance of formulating chemistry that our team has the know-how to do, and enables that ability to work with external heating and achieve the highest cured material properties.
Thank you very much. The next one, I would like to welcome Matt. Matt is the CTO for the Material Science Corporation, and he would like to show you how the innovation is going to save weight and make the vehicle quiet. Matt, could you, yes, I see your presentation here. Thank you.
All right, good morning. Morning. My name is Matt Murphy. I'm calling in this morning from Canton. I work for Material Sciences Corporation, and we won the Altair Award for our product called Smart Steel in 2019. So I'm going to talk a little bit about that, as well as another product that is in our portfolio that is gaining a lot of traction right now. Most of what we work on is for automotive. That's where the weight save is valued at this point. But a couple comments on this. This industry seems to be very entrenched. I know that's changing, but it's from our perspective, it's a very risk-averse industry. Change is very hard. And to bring innovation in and to disrupt the standard practices is very much a challenge sometimes. And we look at it from a cost standpoint, from a weight standpoint, what the customer will pay to save weight, but it often at an entire system and ultimately determining what the value of saving a pound is on the vehicle. So as I mentioned, Material Sciences, we are in the metals space. So what comes in our door is basically a coil and what goes out the door is a coil. It just has a little different when it leaves. So most of the products that we produce go through stampers around the world. They're stamped into automotive components, could be on a internal combustion engine, body in white, or more importantly now, the electric vehicles. Works on saving weight two different ways. One is just a substitute with one of our products that would be Smart Steel, for example, that would be a drop-in weight save over monolithic steel, or through acoustic optimization. I'm going to show you a slide where there's big opportunity in a vehicle purely on the noise and vibration side. Our company, Material Sciences, we are the world leader in laminated products for automotive, whether it's aluminum or steel. And all these products are things that we've developed in-house. So we have chemists and that work on and test all these products here in our R&D facility in Canton. So just a little bit about the two products, and I'll talk a little bit about the applications after that. The first side is what a product we call quiet aluminum. You can see a cross section there. It is take two different skins of aluminum, could be 5,000 series, could be 6,000 series. We bond those together. Again, it comes in as a coil, leaves as a coil. This has excellent noise damping properties, outstanding. And the concept here is to eliminate the add-on treatments in a body in white. It stamps and dies, it joins very similar to aluminum. And right now we're seeing a lot of momentum in the electric vehicle segment, but we also have activity in internal combustion engines as they move away from stamped aluminum and sometimes even plastic. Over to the right is the drop-in straight mass reduction solution we call Smart Steel. So with quiet aluminum, the core is very, very thin, and it's intended to basically hold the two skins of aluminum together, damping through the concept we call constrained layer damping. With the Smart Steel, we're replacing about 40 to 50% of the cross section of the metal with a low density polymer that can be spot welded. The density of that is actually lower than aluminum. So the net result is a surface mass that is roughly 25 to 40% lower than same gauge steel. Okay. And we're targeting applications where stiffness is important, not high tensile strength. Stiffness is important. Okay. The application for the Altair Award was on the roof bows for the current Ford Escape and Lincoln Aviator that are shipped around the world. Okay, so when we talk about acoustics, if you goes down pretty much anywhere in the world, you're going to see a lot of mass that is in these bodies to quiet them down, whether it's on the roof, on the floors, the doors, the dash, a lot of mass, easily 100 pounds, easily. Sometimes probably closing in on 200-300 pounds of mass. So with our acoustic laminate quiet aluminum, these are the items we're targeting, which free up mass opportunity, mass savings, as well as packaging space. So what we're doing with quiet aluminum is moving the damping right into the structure. So we're eliminating that need for those add-on treatments. This offers the opportunity to save a lot of weight, and we're basically substituting, we're eliminating the aluminum and replacing it with quiet aluminum. Through e-coat, through joining, all this is very feasible. This year, we are launching a very significant body in white on a new electric vehicle with 9 components in the body made of quiet aluminum, everything from the front to the rear of the car. Now, I do have a demo here that I'd like to play. I hope this comes through. This is very simple. right out behind me here, we have an NVH lab that we can pretty much test anything, but sometimes a demo is more powerful than a chart or a curve. So I'm just going to play this. So what you'll see is a stamp panel made of aluminum, and then a stamp panel made of our quiet aluminum. Pretty impressive. Okay, so now I'd like to shift to Smart Steel. So again, this is where MSC was awarded the Enlighten Award back in 2019. The photo you see there is the body in white for the current Ford Escape. The yellow parts in the roof are the Smart Steel parts. This was a 30% mass save. Drop in for tooling. The dies are running perfectly efficient in production today, and the assembly system with spot welding, no changes, dropped right in. So with aluminum and other mixed metals, this becomes a very complex problem when we start looking at saving weight with different materials. Smart Steel essentially allows this to drop in transparently to the production process. And I have here $2 to save a pound. That does not mean the product is $2 a pound. That means it is priced so that the customer, it's going to cost them approximately $2 to save a pound, or $4 to $5 to save a kg. All right.
Thank you, Matt. Thank you very much. I have to say, I was really impressed that when I received a sample from you, then when I tapped on the material, and I was shocked. I thought that was not steel, just plastic. It's so quiet. But beyond automotive, where do you see this possibility can apply to? Have you explored this a little bit too?
Okay, so we find that automotive right now is, we sell into the appliance segment, Class A truck, but automotive right now seems to be where we're focusing because of volume, as well as just the need to save weight quickly. And in the body in white, these typically will last for 5-7 years. So when they design body in whites today, they have to meet targets, weight targets, 5-7 years out. The big opportunity we're seeing, of course, quiet aluminum grows in vehicles, but the significant opportunity for MSC right now is in class light duty truck bumpers for Smart Steel. We have a design of record for a light duty truck bumper. When I say truck bumper, I mean pickup truck, front or rear. Typically they're chrome or painted bumpers. We've done about 6 years of work on this. We've stamped parts. Vehicles have been through durability. It's a 9-pound weight save on the front end of the truck. And we're committing a lot of resources to this. That's an area that is one part, significant weight save. And that's where we're focusing a lot of our effort at the moment.
Thank you. Thank you, Matt. So let me quickly to get into a panel discussion. I've seen quite a few the questions coming in. So there's one question is actually asking Marco. The audience said that we studied Knuckle materials across 94 vehicles, over 20 brands, and roughly 50% are iron. How do you generate a business case for the lightweighting beyond aluminum?
Well, correct. I mean, going beyond aluminum makes especially sense when you talk about hypercar, sports versions of existing cars. But on this kind of applications, the only way to go beyond aluminum is to totally redesign the part by considering carbon fiber reinforced plastic. So probably on the steering knuckles, the possibility of applications of such a solution, such a new solutions, is more limited in terms of volumes. But we have selected the steering knuckles to challenge ourselves because it's probably the most complicated suspension component. So if our technology can work on a steering knuckles, it will work on any kind of suspension components. So for these two reasons, yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. And we also see a question coming in for Stefan here. He was asking for your seat. The 3D printing will be used in EV platform architecture in the future. Is that you are seeing that as well?
It depends. It depends on the lot size. I think I've answered the question in writing already. So for large scale, for what you would really call automotive, then I would say there still is no real application for at least metal printing in the platform, if we talk about really the load carrying platform. But if we look at niche applications and also small series applications, then definitely it is already the case. It depends on what car you look at. If you look at hypercars, definitely yes. If you look into, let's say, conversion vehicles of more bigger lot size cars, then there still is some way to go, I would say, also from the quality assurance perspective, so not only from the technology, but also from the process side. But yes, I think it is a massive topic and it's still gaining a lot of momentum.
Thank you. I think another question for Frank is coming in. The audience is asking, will thermoplastic liftgates grow? And if so, what is the top drivers? I think it's asking about how do you see this in the future?
Oh, sure. That's a good question. It's a very relevant question. The industry anticipates this to grow. I mean, the drivers for this are obviously fuel economy standards and CO2 emission standards that are being regulated in some regions around the globe. Here in the U.S., we have we're still waiting to see how that will shape up. But that is a driver. Obviously, reducing weight improves fuel economy and can impact CO2 emissions. And also, lightweighting is important as well for vehicle electrification to help extend vehicle range as well. But there are other drivers for these types of liftgates as well that are related to more of the design and flexibility aspects. There you can integrate more functionality into these types of gates through the thermoplastic process and the adhesive enabling being the primary joining method for this provides some design flexibility that can be imparted to these thermoplastic gates versus metal gates.
Thank you, Frank. A question for Matt. An audience is asking about if you can have a friction stir weld for quiet aluminum.
Yeah, we don't think that's a problem. We've done some testing on this, and it's not used today, this joining, but we don't think this would be a problem. We have done some preliminary work on this.
Okay, that's great. One question is that, the people are also talking about the cost, versus performance. Where do you see that a lot of people were comments on the cost is that, if you try to reduce your weight, certainly you have to pay the cost to have change material or change a different way of the manufacturing. I would like to ask all the panelists here is that I will call out your name, but please make your comments here. Marco, can you please comment on this question?
Well, I've seen in the last 2 years a certain cautious attitude from car makers, especially because they have to invest money in the electrification. So now they are restarting, considering investing some money in lightweighting again. So I see the needs because of the range of the BEV and because of the even more stringent regulations and battle on the range and on the cost itself of the entire vehicle, again, an interest in investing some money in the lightweighting. And I believe that in the meanwhile, we have developed a solution to reduce the cost, especially from the carbon fiber manufacturer side. And in the meanwhile, we have selected the right manufacturing process. So I think it's the right time again now to consider strong lightweighting at the right cost, the cost that a car maker would spend. Yeah.
Thank you, Marco. Stefan, can you make comments on those?
Yeah, I think to me it depends on what the legal regulators, what they do, and also what the legislation in that way recommends. Because in a basic sense, I would say lightweight and also sustainability thinking is it will only grow more important as time goes by. So we can more or less sit out this problem, and our jobs will only become more and more important in the future. But I think we have lost some momentum on the lightweight side a little bit due to the electrification in the meantime because of the batteries. And they said, okay, battery is more expensive than saving a little bit more weight. So from that perspective, there was a trade-off. But what I see now is that the pendulum is also swinging to the other side again, because regulators, they smell that they might be cheated in some way, to say it like this. And so they may force some, let's say, more progressive weight improvement programs on the automotive side. At least that's what my perception.
Thank you. Thank you, Stefan. And Frank, do you have any comment?
Yeah, thank you, Richard. I think, so I agree with some of the comments already made here, but looking from an adhesives perspective, adhesives are generally low cost. If you look at the cost per foot fastened or joined, adhesives can be one of the lower cost options and one of the more rapid joining options to use. And so there's opportunity to reduce fasteners, have a fastener reduction or elimination when you use adhesives to join these materials, and it's the primary joining method. And there's also opportunities, I think, and it's just being talked about a lot in the industry about energy savings in the manufacturing process, the automotive manufacturing process, where some of the high bake processes, if you can enable some joining technologies that don't require high bake exposure to cure and bond, there's opportunity to reduce the oven temperatures and have energy savings while you utilize these new lightweight materials to enable lower weight and have some optimization of the manufacturing process.
Thank you, Frank. Matt?
Yeah, Richard, when a new vehicle is designed, that's the best time, I think, to incorporate some of these new products for lightweighting. But there's always a business case, right? And the customer is always willing to pay so much to save a pound. In many cases, new technology, new materials, they do cost more than the standard legacy type technology. So what we generally do is we build business cases for every application we work on. We call it a value proposition, and we understand what the customer's expectation is, what they're doing today, and we can save cost or weight going forward. So of course, automotive, it's taboo to increase costs today, but we look at the total business case, and if it comes out positive for the customer, then the project moves forward.
Thank you very much, Matt. I would like to, because the time, I would like to, thank you everybody here today to join this discussion here. I'm seeing the chat still have quite a few that we did not get the time to answer. But I will promise that we can collect those questions, and then we will distribute to all the panelists and to provide the audience the answers here. And again, I would like to have a call of the action, then to invite everybody that on the call or join this seminar to submit the entries for Altair Enlighten Award, and you can enter. Go to the Altair Enlighten page and find the information there. And here I would like to look one or two volunteers to speak about what is your experience about Altair Enlighten. Is anybody want to say something about it? Stefan?
I really like it. I mean, for us, we're a quite small company compared to, let's say, the mega companies that you find, also the OEMs out there. And for us, it's a big effect also on the marketing side, and to really get our technologies into the discussion, and also our capabilities and the way we think inside the company.
Thank you. Marco, do you have any comments on this?
Yeah, I have some comments. I mean, I play basketball, so you train a lot by yourself. Is interesting, it's funny, but to participate in a championship is a totally different story. So even being challenging in such an award, it creates a different adrenaline. So it creates a different interest also in your team. So it's a way to compare to the others, and also it's a way for competing in our research job. That it's always good things sometimes. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Awesome. Frank, any comments on those?
Yeah, Richard, for us, I mean, the industry exposure we've had here and the recognition we've had through Altair, at this level in the industry, and other market recognition we've had for our technology has really resulted in new inquiries, new with potential new opportunities. We actually have customers, requesting additional product data and information about the technologies. We were recognized here as an enabling solution by Altair, and so these types of outcomes have really contributed to the opportunities pipeline for our future growth. So it's been very positive in that way.
Thank you very much, Matt. I leave the best, at the end for you to close.
Well, the Altair Enlighten Award, it is a great marketing opportunity for any company, hands down. But it basically, for us too, it validates the technology across some of the best companies in the world, across our peers, and it's a great motivator inside our MSC. That job well done, and we appreciate the work. It's a great recognition as well.
Thank you very much. And again, thank you very much, everybody's time, and the participants. Thank Carl and all the staff at the backgrounds that you probably cannot see here. But again, thank you so much. And let's close this meeting. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. See you soon. Thank you very much.
Bye.
Good morning, guten Tag, good evening, good night.
Yeah.
Yes.
Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye.